just hanging out with me for 15 minutes. Now, if you want to stick around, we'll do a little Q&A. See a bunch of questions coming up, and I'll answer all the questions to the best of my abilities. All right, let's see. Mullet said this before we started. Dan, go pull my list from the last cycle. 40 coins up, double digits for days at a time, the good old days. Me and Mullet have been around about the same amount of time, I think. And we've talked for quite some time. He's a good guy. And yeah, Mullet's right. You know, there's these days of when just multiple coins just going up and you're like, oh, is it ever going to go down? It's happening. But as a reminder, nothing goes up forever. Nothing goes up forever. So just keep that in mind as the natural exuberance overtakes you and you start hearing about super cycles and diamond hands and all that stuff. Andrew said, I can't believe Trump won from I'm from Canada. My girlfriend didn't go to work. Yeah, you know what? I got to tell you, there was just so many things in place for Trump to get elected. There were so many, like not the P. Diddy party list people, but like real people, you know, that were behind him, like RFK Jr., like Elon Musk, like Dana White. I like Dana White. Loved UFC. Vivek Ramaswamy. I mean, just a lot of good people that were behind him and kind of made this happen. And I was like, oh, I was like, well, I mean, but I thought, who knew? Maybe Harris would win it, but I guess not. Hey, Richie. Thank you. We dodged a World War III market drop. Yeah, maybe. And he's from Spain. I wake from 3 a.m. till 6:30 a.m. could not go to sleep. How many times did you guys check your portfolio? How many times did you guys actually check the price of crypto going up? Let me know in the comment section, because I'm going to guarantee it was probably more than one time. Dan was big into Harris. I had that right. No, Andre. I said this yesterday. I said, I will support whoever is chosen as the president, I will support that person because we live in a democracy. I'm also prior military, so I'd like to kind of keep those things going. I said, that's the thing. That's the stance I'm going to take. And that's whatever the American population, the U.S. wants to go in that route. Well, they went this route. Trump it is. Sounds good. And then people asked me, and you can watch the video yesterday, they said, well, who would you vote for? Because I can't vote for the president. I live in Puerto Rico. And I said, I'll be honest with you, Harris, I don't understand any of her stances. I don't understand where she's at, you know, with a lot of things and why she flip-flopped. I go, just to me, it doesn't make any sense. And I said, I'll let you delve into that of which way I would like to go. And that's it. Like, that's all I want to talk about for the elections and stuff like that, because it's pointless now to go, well, he said and she said, da-da-da. The reality is that we've got Trump in office. Let's just move forward. Let's just go. Let's deal with the stuff that we can deal with. Ben's chair is here. Also, I think NFA Live is happening tomorrow on Guy's channel. Ben's got some things that came up, so we might either replace Ben or do it later. I mean, we're going to replace Ben from just one show. Not like we're going to replace him because he can't make it one time. Hey, Pay says all-time high right now. Yes, that is true. God, it's a lot of green. Have you ever seen this much green? I have. 2021, it was awesome. Let's see, 75,596. Holy smokes, we're going to hit 76,000. You know what? I'm going to have to jump in my pool now because we're going to hit 100K at some point soon. Shoot. Well, I have made that promise for quite some time. Nas is here. The Catacombs new. Yeah, sorry, but it's too soon for me to watch today. I don't blame you. I'm Canadian and my liberal friends are so shocked. Yeah, I mean, you were like, trust me, I've had many of presidents that I voted for. Well, it just didn't materialize. And I was like, shoot, this is going to suck. The whole world's going to go, and it never does. Let's see. This is the start of a great thing. That's a great result. True. After all these years. Goodbye. Goodbye, Gary. Yeah. Future is Trump. Well, the future is us, I think. I think the future is America. My portfolio is making me nervous. Probably, Ashley, because it went up so much. Yeah. Yeah, I told my wife, I'm like, hey, check your portfolio. Because I think that you're gonna like it. She's like, wow, it's a pretty big thing. Oh no. Alan Lichtman had a live stream. Oh, I'm gonna watch that. Thank you, Catacombs. That is gonna make my day. I'm not celebrating somebody who was wrong, but Lichtman, I mean, it's just, gosh, he got it right for so many years, for decades, and this one time he just didn't hit it. And also there's a discrepancy. Al Gore and George Bush Jr. That hanging chat thing, we talked about this, and he picked Gore, but he kind of says, well, it's because of this Florida and blah blah blah. I'm like, but yeah, I just want to see like how that all went down. Ashley says, and that's what makes me nervous. I don't want to screw this up. Ashley just said the thing that is in my mind daily, which is, I don't know how many millions of dollars you're going to make or how much you're going to increase your ROI, but it's going to be substantial. Let's just call a spade and not tiptoe around the issue. You're going to make a lot of money, all of you, especially if you're buying the bear market. Now, I can't say that, I can't say all of you, because maybe you got into like tomato banana coin or something stupid. And you're like, well, I hope it goes to the moon because I'm all into that. But if you're a sensible, reasonable person and having like, the top 20 cryptos, you're going to do great. So the question you have to ask yourself now, and this is a big question, Ashley's smart, because you should be nervous. I'm nervous. I've been here since 2017. I still get nervous during these times. It's not hard to buy dips. It's not hard to dollar cost average. It's hard to take these massive gains and sell into strength when you are pretty sure it's going to keep going up. And if that happens, you're like, shoot, if I sell now, I'm going to miss out on 10, 20%. If it did a 2x, why couldn't I do a 5x? If it did a 10x, why couldn't I do a 100x? These are the things that are going to derail you. I can guarantee it. There's a video, link in the description, and it talks about when I'm going to sell 50 to 80% of my crypto. Look for those indicators, roll those into your repertoire of what you want to do as far as your strategy, and do as much research as you possibly can. Use that as a launch pad and pick and choose the thing that you want to do, because at some point you probably want to sell. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you're the Michael Saylors of the world and go, you know what? I'm a billionaire and I own a company and I'm just going to take loans against my shares or stocks of my shares of my company and I'll roll on a Bitcoin. Maybe that's you. I have no idea. Or maybe you're here for your kids or your grandkids. Like, I'm just gonna leave it to them. And because, I mean, sweet Mary and Joseph, if we actually do what they say they're gonna do and have a Bitcoin strategic reserve and all the countries start to follow, yeah. But that's Bitcoin. I want to remind you of that. That's Bitcoin. All your altcoins, even my altcoins, yeah, I don't know. Great. I knew it. This is the perfect timing. I knew we would get the people in, and now comes the bull run. Alex Wells says, Rob, great show. I thought your name was Dan for some reason. If you've been around, you know what this means. That's cool, Alex. Yeah, my name's Rob. Gary should quit now. Rambos and unicorns. Rainbows. I should have enunciated that better. Yeah, Rusty Bot, voice of reason. Ashley, you'll be fine. We just need to remember to take some profits. I haven't taken any yet. It's too hard, but I think this is just the beginning. Yeah, true. I just got offered a loan, a real estate loan, because I would be the loaner and the individual was a loanee, secondary mortgage. But the terms were great, and this is what I'm going to get into later. But I had to tell him, I was like, I can't right now. I just can't. This is not a good time to go into real estate for loans. Of course, 3 or 4 weeks ago we bought a apartment complex, but I mean, it's too good of a deal to pass up. But from this point forward, I feel like this is like that day, and then we go up. I've been wrong before. Too many Dems in Massachusetts. Too many people who like Elizabeth Warren. That's what it comes down to. Or just whatever her message was, I couldn't tell you, resonates with them. Ash, I took some profit about Bitcoin with it. I did not hear this. It does. Law says he doesn't have to leave the SEC, Gary Gensler, but the president does get to pick the chairman. I had not heard that. We'll see. Maybe he can fire him. Well, maybe he can make him step down. Regardless, though, Gary's gone. There's no reason for him to stick around. He can go and work at Goldman Sachs again and make a bunch of money or whatever else. I will tell you this, though. Those hopes and dreams of him becoming the Treasury Secretary, they're not going to materialize. We're living the dream. Pumping. Are retails here yet? No. But how many calls or texts did you get last night or this morning from your normie friends? Hey, did you hear the Trump one? Yes. Hey, what's going on with this thing called Bitcoin? Like I was just talking to my another guy, Victor, down the street, real estate guy, and he's like, hey, I heard he said, what did he say? I heard Bitcoin went to 30,000. And I was like, yeah, it's at 75,000 now. And we had been talking about this like a couple of years ago. And he's like, shoot, I should have bought some. I'm like, yeah, go figure. That's okay. They'll get it. You get Bitcoin at the price you deserve. That's what it comes down to. I hear Alan Lickman and Ann Seltzer got jobs with the Solana marketing team. Touche. That was a good one. What is a good area to buy an apartment in Puerto Rico? I don't know. But if you watch that, I did a compilation video of Puerto Rico and all my mistakes and screw-ups. Definitely watch that video. In that video, I give you two of my real estate agents' phone numbers. Those, well, it's a guy and a girl. And Victor's one of them, actually. Just talk to those guys, and they'll tell you exactly where it is. Victor and Brenda. Ben's chair. Remember, take problem. Yeah, it's very true. Rusty Bot says, Rob, you see Cynthia Lummis post on X? I did. Cynthia Lummis's post on X. If you don't know, Cynthia Lummis is senator from Wyoming. And she said in a post, I don't know if it was a post or on a blog or on her website, I can't remember, but she said that we're going to create a Bitcoin strategic reserve. And that's that. That's pretty good. Thank you. I see, finally, it's paying off. Taxes go up forever. Do you think NEAR is still a front runner for AI? I think NEAR is still a good project. We'll see how many people continue to build on that. And I think it'll do quite well in this bull market. Clover says, Rob, I caught live stream. Was that the top 10 list? Nearly spat my water out. Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Bog Miles says, I've never seen Musk lick someone's boot so obviously. Hey, man, when you want your friends to win, you do what you do. We're about to break 76. I thought let's see. Let's see, everybody. Let me refresh this. Golly, we did break 76. Well, congratulations, Crypto Bro, adequately named. We did it, everybody. We hit 76. Maybe if we stand here long enough, we'll get to 80,000. Ah, man. Yeah, PM says, let's hope for a return to decency and hard work and a pivot away from clown world woke nonsense. You got to agree there. Not a big fan of woke culture. I don't get it. Whatever. And also remember, Justin Trudeau is still the Prime Minister of Canada. And, oh yeah, Joe Rogan. I think Joe Rogan had a big, I'm not going to say, well, I think Joe Rogan had a big impact, quite honestly. I mean, Joe Rogan had, in succession order, he had Trump, the vice president, J.D. Vance, and they had Elon Musk, all within a week's time frame. And they all made time for him. They all flew down to, well, I think Musk actually lives in Texas now. But I mean, he travels all over the place. Flew down to Austin, did an interview, 3-4 hours or whatever it was. Thank you so much. Shake hands and walked away. You know, I mean, Kamala, for some reason, was too busy to make it to Joe Rogan. And he said, like, just come in and I'll interview you. It'd be 3 hours. And they said, well, we don't want to do that. We want you to come here and we want for an hour. And Joe's like, no, that's not how I work. You can't really get a good sense of a person in under an hour. That was his, I think she should have done it, but she didn't. So here we are. Daniel says lots of crypto people behind Trump. That's true. That's why his crypto promises will be kept. Let's hope so. You know, campaign promises are just that, just promises. Although I did hear him say, campaign promises will be campaign promises kept. We'll see. Cathal, enjoy your beer. Oh, I always do. And this is going to taste just 10 times sweeter. I don't know if you guys have ever fasted for 5 days. When you do it the first time, it really sucks. But over time, it gets easier. But boy, food and beer and wine taste great after that. Rob, when you offload from your exchange, do you have multiple bank accounts or just one? Haven't tried it yet. Anticipating some red tape. I had two, and there's one here in Puerto Rico that said, hey, if you transfer anything from Coinbase, we're going to shut your bank account down. And I was like, well, thank you, and I will take my business elsewhere. But the other bank is USAA. I've had that since I was a buck private in the Army. So that's nice. What I will recommend to you, Mooning J Bird, is to talk to your bank. Once they get a sense of who you are, and just tell them, like, look, I made some pretty big investments. And this guy, Digital Asset News, said I'm going to be a millionaire. No, I'm just kidding. Don't say that. But just say, like, I expect a big inflow of funds from Coinbase, just to let you know. And if you have a problem or if you have issues, let me know now so I can find another place to go. Do that ASAP. Also, I need you guys right now, at least by next week, I need you to get a hold of whatever exchange that you have. Like, we have Coinbase here in the States. You've got Gemini and you've got Kraken and things like that. Talk to them and make sure that you can extend your limits of the outflows that you can do, and also inflows as well, because there is nothing crappier when you're seeing everything go skyrocket to the moon and you can't sell anything more because you're like, oh, I got timed out because I can only do so much, or I can't, cash out and I can't move this to my bank. So make sure those limits are increased as much as possible. And lastly, I need you to do this. Doesn't matter how much you make, it's how much you keep. I need you to turn off all your text two-factor authentication after you install your Google Authenticator two-factor authenticator. What that means is, when you a two-factor authenticator is like this. You want to log into your bank account, you want to log into your socials, and it'll say, like, well, we're going to send you a text. They send you a text. You put it in, okay, you have access, you can do whatever you want to, right? Banks do this as well. And it's a one layer. But if you get it SIM swapped, then everything that you have, and you'll see stories about this, you're going to see stories about this coming in very quickly this year about people who have been SIM swapped, attacked, and they've lost everything. Imagine doing all this work and some scamming piece of trash gets your information and is able to transfer because you got SIM swaps. And that's bad. That's great. That's awful. But if you get SIM swapped, they can't use a Google Authenticator. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just do a Google search. I know on Dan Teaches Crypto, my website, link in the description, which is 100% free. It's always free. I show you how to download and actually use that. I show you how to avoid scams. Also, links in this description, there's 4 essential videos, and 2 of those have to do with scams and things you need to avoid so you don't get screwed over. So watch those videos. For some reason, everybody watches the video, probably because I don't promote it as much, the video on where I'm selling all my crypto, but very few people watch the other parts, which is important, I think. Zorb, I woke up several times looking at my portfolio. That's okay, just means you're normal. America voted against Wolf. Yeah. David Kyle says, Rob, I admire you, Rob, for openly supporting Harris. Not my choice, but I see why a Puerto Rican would be loath to vote on my DG. David, who says I was promoting Harris. Like, let me go over this again and make this crystal clear for everybody. So when people ask me about like who I would support, I can't vote. I couldn't vote for the president of the United States. I can vote for the governor of Puerto Rico if I would have registered, but I didn't. And I said, this was yesterday, go watch the video. And people would ask me, like, if you could vote, who would it be? And really, I don't like to get into that too much because I'm like, politics, but it's just a part of us. I said, look, Harris, I've listened to her. She makes no sense to me. The stance that she has, again, I don't know if I have to say this 10 times or 20 times, but the stances that she had they just didn't compute. And then when she would talk about like why she switched from something, talking about, fracking and border control and taxes, and like there was no like real substance to it. And then when she would give answers in like the limited amounts of interviews that she did, like it made no sense. So I was like, well, and I just said, take it from there, who you think I would vote for. So from there, that's it. I know some people don't like that, but I mean, to me, it just didn't make any sense. Maybe I'm just not getting it. Yeah. Can you do some Puerto Rico real estate video? I actually did one. I did a couple of real estate videos. If you look in the, what is it? The playlist, it just says real estate and it's right there. Also, you can find those on Dan Teaches Crypto. Sean, it's a republic. Well, I mean, the founding fathers were smart enough to set it up the right way, right here in America. Like we have, 3 branches: the executive, the judicial, executive, judicial, and the legislative. Golly. So the executive branch is the president of the United States. They can execute, they can do all these things, right? The judicial would be the Supreme Court. Like they can, if you have a problem, you have to go over there and say, well, we have this disagreement. The Supreme Court will, and of course the circuit judges as well. And then for the legislative, well, we have Senate and we have the House of Representatives, which makes up Congress. So it's not like the president of the United States can go, okay, we're going to do this and that's it. I'm a dictator. That's all. If you want to get things ratified and have a bill passed through, well, first it has to go to the House of Representatives. They have to approve it, and the Senate, and then it has to be approved by the president. Now, the president can make executive orders. That is true, but they can be backlash on him or her, if this would have happened, later on. And it's not, remember, there's 3 whole branches to this. It's not like it's, some crazy banana republic. It's a republic. Said I wouldn't miss too much. Not much at all. Trump pump. Republicans elected, Democrats selected. Sure. Bruce Wayne. Do you sell all your Bitcoin? You never sell all your Bitcoin. That's just my opinion. Some people think that you should sell it all. That's fine. Even though we constantly hear that Bitcoin exchange is disappearing, it will soon all be gone. I've been hearing that like supply shock story for quite some time. And it seems like there's always somebody who wants to sell their Bitcoin. And there's always somebody who's on some type of leverage play. And there's always bots that are selling back and forth. And there's always, and we just took a look at this, ETF participants that say, you know what, we know what's going to happen, or we're going to hedge our bet and we're going to sell it before the presidential election because we think something else is going to happen. And when it doesn't, they buy back at higher levels. So to answer your question, a lot of people will say you never sell a Bitcoin. I am one of those people, but I am not one of those people who say that you have to hold on to all your Bitcoin at all times and you never ever sell it, because that's just the way it is. Look, if you want financial freedom, if you want the ability to just pick up and go whenever you want to, if you don't want to be a slave to the 9-to-5 or a boss or a job or a corporation or things like that, Bitcoin can give you those things, but it is not those things. So we'll leave that as it were. And of course, people are going to, this is my other fear. People are going to start to say, well, you can take loans against your Bitcoin. You can do all these things. Look, I did the same thing. I did it down in Celsius. I even talked about that trash company and didn't work out. Maybe someone can figure it out the right way, I guess, but I have too much shell shock to go down that route. So we'll see. Replace Ben with who? Well, if we had to replace Ben tomorrow, it would probably be Gary Gensler. Gary Gensler or Elizabeth Warren. I don't know. Maybe we get Nick from Coin Bureau. Rob's pool stream. Rob, your burnout suit is on the way. I'll take it. Are retailers back? I sure hope so. Last chance to get on the train? No. Don't let anybody fool you and say that nonsense of like, this is the last time you get Bitcoin below 70K. Maybe it is, but this will be, how many times have you heard that? Last chance to get below 70K. Nothing goes up forever. Nothing goes up in a straight line. I think there's going to be a healthy pullback at some point. Rob needs Bitcoin to be 100K to afford a pool. Exactly. That'd be nice. Or even a better green screen, that's for sure. Chief Steve, have you invested in any exchanges since Voyager? No, I learned my lesson. So Voyager was a great company. It really was. The problem with Voyager, because Voyager was like the hotels.com. If you guys don't remember this, it would take the best prices from all the centralized exchanges and go, here's your best price. We're going to take a cut of that. That's all they had to do. They had a great business model. Then they screwed it up because they went to 3 Arrows Capital and they were trying to keep up with the Ponzi scheme that was Celsius. And they said, hey, we need a loan because we want to pay more people the yield. 3 Arrows Capital's like, great, we want to do some more trading, so here's $640 million. We'll give it to you, but we're not going to give you any collateral. And Voyager said yes, which is the dumbest thing you ever should do. I've done this. I've learned the hard way too. You can't give loans without collateral. It doesn't work like that. So they collapsed because of that. If it wasn't, if they just would have stuck to their main thing, they would have done quite well. I think that's why Bitcoin does so well, because it doesn't try to evolve too much, doesn't really make huge leaps and bounds. It's very simple. It's the safest, most secure, decentralized, most decentralized or pretty well done computerized network in the entire planet. And it's also a great store of value, long-term, not a short-term store of value. People say, well, if it's a great store of value, then why does the price go down? I can ask you the same thing about gold. Why does the price of gold go down? It should just go straight up. It's a great store of value. It's not. Or because it doesn't do that. Although it's hit its all-time high this year. So I just take a look at it and I go, look, it's very simple. If you hold your money or hold your wealth in fiat, it'll start to be debased because that's what America does. That's called quantitative easing or money printing. And all the assets that you're going to buy will only go up. If you hold assets like Bitcoin, then the prices go down. And that's it. If you have a 4-year time horizon, you should just fine. Future is Bitcoin. I took MicroStrategy errors. Woo, 262 minus yesterday, 227. Late, but whatsoever. No, just watching the price go up. Lettuce hands. Don't sell emotionally. I like chicken. That's true, Travel. So we can conclude one thing. X was not wrong. The ones hanging out in X was not in a bubble. Yeah, this is true. I mean, we did kind of call it an X. So, where's your green screen? I'm just going to deal with the green screen. Just do this white screen. How high do you think we'll go today? I think today's price will be somewhere between 50,000 and 90,000. Yeah, 50,000 and 90,000, somewhere in between there. Maybe it'll just be stuck at 75, 75.8, 75.9, not sure. We bought in the end of 2022, Rob. That's pretty good. I think we all did, right? I mean, most of us did because we always talked about it. Radish says, how'd you celebrate? Like the price or Trump? The thing about Trump, I fell asleep last night. Like I just couldn't stay awake. And then I woke up today, walked the dog, come back, and I checked, and I'm like, oh, Trump did win. I'll be damned. I thought he would, but this looks pretty good. And then I went to the commencement speech. It was great. I went and listened to a lot of the pundits from last night, which is kind of funny. And then I went and looked at the portfolio, and I was like, damn, this is looking pretty good. Yeah. Tomato Banana coin launching in 10 minutes on Pump.fun, which it should. He sold his green screen, invested in Bitcoin. Yeah. Potential to make money, put in the bank, or he didn't make it. Exactly. Eric, you got to wait. What a day to be in crypto. Life-changing money was made today. I mean, it could be true, actually. If you're into meme coins, I don't know how that peanut meme coin did, but I'm sure it astounded and went up exponentially. Oh, man. 100 million and more shorts just added at 76, 77K. I see a short squeeze. Says, Rob, taking any profits? No. Remember like a couple months ago, I took some profits because I had to buy the property. But, I bought back in. Not everything I could buy back in, but I bought a little bit back in as things went down, and now here we are. So I didn't take any profits right now. Again, I think this is day 0. Like if you watch that video about the indicators, like if you take a look at like 12 multiple MDRV Z-score, definitely the pi cycle top, even the time and risk bands, you'll know. Like for me, I look at them like, we're not close. We're not even near close. William Fisher, I'll be selling based on those metrics too. Great. Hopefully some of them. Hopefully you've added some other ones in that make sense to you. Doge is pumping. Thank God. I got a lot of Doge. You know how like, Bitcoin pumps, and then the altcoins pump, and then like the small cap altcoins pump, but it goes in that succession, right? Maybe Dogecoin, because it is a fork, right? Maybe Dogecoin is that type of indicator for all the meme coins. Like if Dogecoin pumps, then you'll see like Bonk pump, and then you'll see like, I don't know, dog with hat pump, and then it kind of goes down that way. I wonder if that would actually be true. That'd be good. Exactly. What does the strength index show over today? It's a good question. It's a good question for all the traders out there. David Kyle, if you factor in inflation, we're definitely not at all-time high, but sure, 80K is not far off. Yeah, but then people would say like this, well, one Bitcoin is still one Bitcoin. Trust in White, are you going to take a profits early? No. And this is a lesson I want everybody to learn, is that you can never have regrets taking profits, because I'm going to share something with you. You are not going to hit and take profits at an all-time high. It's crazy to think, right? Maybe you do it with an altcoin here and there. You get lucky. Like I did it with Cardano somehow. But you're not going to hit the all-time highs. And it's just like Baron Rothschild said, I made all my money by selling too soon and never buying the absolute bottoms. And that's what's going to happen to you. So as soon as you sell, you don't look back and you just look forward, just like with this presidential election. So you will sell, you will see then the price go up later, and you'll be like, well, I made mine. And that's it. So no regrets. Especially if you like, for me, like I sold and put into other assets. Like I sold, I didn't sell Bitcoin, I sold altcoins, and I put those funds into an asset, which was real estate. So for me, it's like, yeah, I'm good. Yeah. So Rob's going to jump in the pool before New Year's Eve or sooner? Looks that way. I think 100K is rapidly approaching. I think we got a rate cut this week. Yeah. No. Maybe, I don't know. Let's see. And we're going to get a 25 basis point cut, I think. Wow. There's a 99% chance that we're going to get a 25 basis point cut. So we'll see. That's on, oh, you're right. That's tomorrow, 7th of November. 7th of November. So there's a 1% chance we could get a 50 basis point cut. Wouldn't that be crazy if Jerome Powell comes out and says, you know what, no cuts? We'll see. Hello, Thanos. Oof, Paul Polka, what is good for safe investments to put your profits in? I don't know. You know, like for me, you know, if you're going to go into cash, you shouldn't keep cash around for too long because we know what's going to happen with that. But it is good to have dry powder, correct? Especially if you see some kind of opportunity. Like, you know, if I had some more, well, actually, if I had more dry powder, I would just buy more crypto. I wouldn't buy more real estate because exponentially, I think you're going to do better on the right cryptos. Bitcoin being the safest bet, personally. So later on, I don't know. Like loans look pretty attractive to me right now. It's just, you know, just a long play, 6, 7, up to 9% interest, and have collateral for the property itself. So yeah. Dave said, how's the fast going? As you can tell, I'm kind of slowing down today. kind of like forgetting some things. It's just, you know, when you don't eat anything for, this is the 4th day, tomorrow will be the 5th. Like you feel good for a while. Like I had a lot of energy today, and right now I'm just kind of slowing down. But I don't really have any hunger pains or anything like that. So yeah. Uncle Thomas, when are you going to stop doing videos? Bull market started already. I'm not stopping videos until I sell my crypto. And that's not happening. So let me explain this again. So watch the video, links in the description, where I talk about when I'm going to start selling my crypto and digital assets, 50 to 80% of that. That won't come all at once. But on my last day when I'm selling, I'm like, hey, and I'll tell you when I'm selling. I'm not going to sit around and just go 6 months later, hey, I sold everything, suckers. I'll tell you. I won't tell you the exact moment it happens because I can't do live streams that quickly. But I sell those, and then I'm like, yeah, that's it. I'm good, and have fun with the bull run. I'll see you in the bear market. And I step down from the channel. I take a little break. And I don't come back until whatever the bear market is. If that's, usually it means you have a 20% drop, and the market sentiment is bearish. You can look at the Fear and Greed Index and take a look at that. And yeah, that's it. This feels the same as, in retrospect, it was inevitable. Yeah, very true. Gary should work at McDonald's. Nothing wrong with McDonald's. Crypto stocks are mooning. I bet MicroStrategy's went up. I wonder how much it did go up. That's another thing I need to check my Robinhood portfolio. I always forget the Robinhood. A micro strategy. Wow. Look at this. This is 5 days. 221, 259, almost 260. It's pretty good. How about a month? Okay. How about 6 months? All right. How about 1 year? How about 5 years? Pretty good. I think it's an all-time high. Congratulations, MicroStrategy holders. I don't know, a little bit, but not as much as I should have. Not Nell. Long to see you. Sending you all love from Ethiopia. Thank you. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Just have to get rid of Warren. Warren's not going anywhere. You know what's funny though? She's got an anti-crypto army, but who is her compatriots in this? Because we just I just showed you all the people that are now for crypto, and now she's the one that's going to be the anti-crypto hero when nobody wants her to be that. Maybe in Massachusetts. That doesn't make any sense. Why would people in Massachusetts, one state, be so anti-crypto just because she talks about it? Damn, they're brainwashed. Oh well. Bog Miles, what are the top gainers in 24 hours? Probably meme coins. Let's see. I'm just going to guess. Let's see. Largest gainers. Chronos ID, meme coin, 282%. COW, Cow Protocol, 104%. Nah, Peanut the Squirrel, 73%. There you go. There's your largest gainers, meme coins. How crazy. Road Jogan. I'm going to guess that is a meme coin. Grouper says, didn't she just do a 3-day fast? No, this is a 5-day. Today is the 4th day. So just one more day to go. I'm upset that my daughters won't be able to compete with men in sports. Gosh, that's one issue that really makes no sense to me. CNN is good entertainment. It's good for a laugh. True. We just crossed 76. Nice lap, Beardy. Did Beardy taking a victory lap? My daughter is doing that fast, saving a week in groceries. Pretty good. So can Ben get a gold-plated share filter and say he took profits? If Ben has to spend money on the filter, he won't do it. Risquan says, Dan, what's your views on never sell your Bitcoin? Like I said before, at some point you're going to sell. Like I'm going to sell some of it. It's just how it is. I know some people will say, well, and Michael Saylor makes a pretty good point about, if you do it with real estate, if you do it with other assets and equities and precious metals, it's the only thing that's really going to outdo that would be Bitcoin. And maybe he's right in the long haul, but no, I'm going to sell some. And because I think we'll still have some of these 4-year cycles. See, this is the problem. The natural exuberance will get a hold of us and we'll think that we'll never crash. I think we can. I mean, it's happened every time. But then people say, but this time it's different. It's always different. Yeah, Crown's Canary. Use an old phone for 2FA. No swim sub issue. You can do that too. I know it was Scott Melker who talked about using an old phone for his 2FA, but I think that was Google. Even MJ knew Republicans buy shoes. Exactly right. Casino says, Rob, would you cash out to a stable coin first? You can, just to hang it around. And it's just, I trust USDC more than I trust Tether, but I've used both. Can we move on to religion? Yeah, let's, instead of talking about politics, let's talk about religion. Like I said in the beginning. Avocado Republic. Okay, what did I miss here? Damn, there's a lot of... Bitcoin is a long asset. Alts super cycle soon? No, but alts will rip because the gains from Bitcoin usually flow into alts and then high cappers, and then it goes into low cappers. This is it. Rose, do you think Bitcoin will hit 100K in 2024? Good. I don't know. Short Bitcoin or long Bitcoin? I think at this point, it'd be kind of, you would be going way against the grain to short Bitcoin, especially with the positive news we've had. I wouldn't do that, but I don't do longs or shorts. I just accumulate. Oh, I took Go Profits. Amy Johnson's here. Boston. A lot of programs help people stay blue. She's part of it. Yeah. Dad's DeFi says it right. And we'll stop with this one. If you're new to crypto, please have a profit-taking strategy and a plan. Fear of missing out is real hard to explain. And it is. And you don't really know that until you do it. It's like a public presentation. You think it's easy until you get into a crowd of like 500 people. You're like, whoa, it's kind of weird. And it's going to happen to you. You're going to get those jitters when you start to sell and you're like, wow, why should I sell? 10x can be 100x. But that's up for you to figure it out. You'll get there. I'm sure you will. Or you'll screw it up. One of those two will happen. Anyhow, everybody, thanks so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. Like today's video, thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. Stay safe out there. Remember, it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. So be safe. Adios.